All right, welcome to Around the District with Superintendent Sean Gallagher. I have a graduating senior with me, Priya Kaur, and we're really excited to learn a little bit about you and kind of tell us what you're going to be doing next.
Of course. Hello everyone, my name is Priya Kaur and I'll be attending college this upcoming fall, and I'm studying on the molecular and cellular biology pathway, and I'm super excited for graduation, and this has been a great community, so I would like to thank NHS for all that it's done for me.
Awesome, and I know you've had a lot of senior activities and things like that, and what was that like this week?
It was very surreal. I have to say, at first I didn't really process that I was graduating, and I think it really hit when we were in our caps and gowns for the first time during Vespers, and I actually spoke in front of my class, and that's when it truly hit for me that in fact we are graduating, and that these 4 years, even though people are like, oh, like it's far down the line, it truly goes by so fast you don't realize it.
Yes, and I think as you're reflecting on the 4 years, what is kind of maybe some advice for the underclassmen, kind of what you've learned through this 4-year process?
I think definitely for me, it was always try. Whether it was a club or if it was some type of event you wanted to propose out, always try. Come up with something and then at least see what it could possibly do. And I think that was a very important lesson that I learned throughout my high school career, was that if you show up to something and you always try, you might lead yourself in a direction that you never probably expected. And so I think truly my advice would be always trying.
Yeah, and you've had an incredible career. You won a lot of academic awards, and you're academically driven. But from talking to Mr. Wolf and the administration, you really got involved in the school community to make the community better. Did you want to touch base on some of the things that you were involved in throughout your 4 years here?
Of course. So a lot of my work was centered around service. So for me personally, I always wanted to impact communities the best that I could, and so honestly, starting from freshman year, I was involved with the Interact Club, and that's where I really was able to really join a community that was beyond the high school, and it was a really fulfilling experience. I met so many great people, and I'm still in touch with them till this day. And at school, it was a really great opportunity for me to join different clubs as well. So as part of both the student council and the school council, and both of them worked incredibly hard to really emphasize the importance of having the student voice, but also making sure everyone feels safe and is happy. So it's been a really great experience.
All right, well, thank you very much. And for everybody, that's Priya Kaur, graduating senior for Newburyport High School. All right, welcome back. Today, next guest is Molly Grant. Did a lot of great things as a senior, and we are really proud of you. So maybe just tell us kind of what you were involved in throughout your career here.
So my name is Molly Grant. While I was here, I was captain of the cheer team that we brought back, and I've had some different roles in various clubs and on student government, and next year I'm going to the University of Maryland to study neuroscience.
That's awesome. And I just want to give you a lot of credit for the cheering, because when I first got here in 2018, as a superintendent, and I was doing my entry plan, people were always asking, what happened to the cheerleading team? And I know once you got up to the high school, that was an initiative that you really spearheaded, and now we have an unbelievable cheerleading team.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So as you're moving into this next journey of yours, kind of what are you looking to do to really impact the world, so to speak?
So I really want to be a pediatric physician. I want to help kids, especially kids with disabilities, mental and physical. I've coached a special needs cheer team for 6 years now, so that's something I'm really passionate about, sort of helping them.
That's awesome, and I think a lot of the lessons that you learned as a leader here is going to easily transfer into that role.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, everyone, we have Molly Grant. We're very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And everyone's excited for Sunday.
Yes, very excited. Thank you.
All right. Awesome job. I have Lily Pills with me right now, and why don't you kind of tell everyone where you're going next?
All right, yeah. My name is Lily. I'm a graduating senior at NHS, and next year I'm going to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and I'm majoring in biochemistry.
So a tough major right there.
Yes, I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous.
If you had to give your freshman self advice, what would you give?
I think I would say just stick true to yourself from right in the beginning. Freshman year, you just have to figure out what you love, and you have to just know true to yourself who you are and what you want to do. And I think once you find a passion, which can happen freshman year or senior year, when you find that thing and you're like, I love to do this, just do it and don't care what anyone else thinks, just do it. And it will take you so far in life. And I think it's hard for freshmen when you just want to act like all of your other peers and do what they're doing, but it's so important if you're just sticking true to yourself. And even if you're worried about if people are judging you, or you're worried about if people will say things, it doesn't matter. It feels like it does in the moment, but it won't. So
That's
I would say,
awesome advice.
yeah.
That's great advice. And just any like NHS inside joke or tradition that only NHS graduates would know.
I think a tradition or a little joke is your
Oh.
cartwheels, and we do them on color day, so I think nobody would really understand that.
Yeah, I don't think my family would understand that
Yeah.
either. So that's
Yeah.
good. Let's keep that on the inside track. All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank
We're
you.
extremely proud of you, and we look forward to hearing great things in the
All right.
future.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ava Moran. I'm a senior graduating at Newburyport High School. Next year, I'm going to be going to the University of Miami to study finance and accounting.
Awesome. Well, we're very proud of you. You've had a great high school career. What's one thing that you're going to miss about Newburyport High School?
I think it's going to have to be going to school every day with my mom, because I feel like that's a pretty unique experience to
Yeah.
have your mom being a teacher at the school. And even when I was a freshman and sophomore, like I would drive to school with her every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this year, she's my teacher.
Yes. I love that.
At first I was kind of hesitant to be in one of her classes, but I actually really appreciate being able to see her every day.
Yeah, and she's a fabulous teacher. I'll tell you, one of the best teachers that in my career that I have worked with. So
Yeah.
you get a special mom there.
Yeah, it's a great experience.
I'll give you an inside track. I was a principal of both of my daughters.
Yeah.
So like we went up just, so that was a little
Yeah.
nerve-wracking for them.
Definitely more intense, yeah.
But no, congratulations. Wonderful family, great mom, and we're very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, welcome back. We have Callum Johnson, valedictorian. And why don't you just tell everyone where you're going to be going next?
I'm going to be studying computer science at Northeastern University next year.
Very, very impressive. Let me just ask you this before we get to the next question. Maintaining your studies and being a valedictorian, how challenging was that?
It was a big struggle throughout the year, trying to maintain a balance between personal life and academics. But it required careful planning, organization, and just the will to push through it all, really.
Awesome. And for incoming freshmen, if you had to give them some advice as they come into school next year?
I would tell them not to be scared, because there are a lot of very good classes and opportunities within the high school that I feel that a lot of students are pushed away from because they feel it will be too difficult or it will be too complex. And what I've seen is the people who doubt themselves initially really come to succeed in those environments where they take a chance and they do something that they before might not have thought they could.
That's awesome advice. I'm sure the freshmen will appreciate that. We are very proud of you. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, take one whenever you're ready.
All right. Welcome back. We have Colin Fuller and Tyler Trebanian. Welcome, guys, and why don't you tell people where you're going next year?
I'm going to the University of Georgia.
I'm going to the University of Georgia as well.
And you guys have both had great careers here, athletically, obviously, with a lot of the success that you had, and also academically. Why don't you just kind of give everyone your sense of Newburyport and the pride that you have here?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all been about community. Like, whether it's on the football team, lacrosse team, or more in the school academically, I always feel like there's people to fall on, whether it's faculty or students. I think that Newburyport's done a great job of creating like a bond where people can rely on each other rather than going more solo.
Yeah, and I always say, being the superintendent here for the past 7 years, but really understanding tradition here, when you're participating in athletics or theater, academics, you're almost like representing more than yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tyler, what would you say, your experience here with 4 years?
Kind of similar to what Colin said. Like, you always have everyone around you wants you to succeed, so you can kind of talk to anyone about your troubles or look to anyone for help, whether it's like coach, teacher, upperclassmen, maybe even like an underclassman you become close with. They want to like give you some tips. They might notice your flaws more than anyone else, and really just reaching out to that community that we're involved in will help us improve that much.
That's awesome. And we could probably talk for an hour on your successes, right? But just I think for the freshmen coming in or underclassmen right now, or even your peers, what would maybe a challenge or an obstacle that you faced that you kind of overcame that actually made you stronger?
I think that trying to find the right balance between like sports or like extracurriculars, whatever you have going on, and like still staying strong academically was definitely the first challenge that I faced in high school. But once you do find that right balance, it teaches you like great time management skills and like when to put, like how much effort to put forth in each thing. Like you should always be giving it your best, but knowing when to lay off on one to give more on the other.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Any challenge that you might have had that, earlier in your career or even this year that you overcame that?
One challenge I think I had is a little more so about like the social life. So I know there were times where you kind of feel like clinged on to like whatever your close friends are, and I found, especially this year, as like we all are leaving and we won't see a lot of like my fellow seniors again or like very often, I try to kind of go out of my comfort zone a little bit and be a little more interactive with more people rather than just my friends.
That's awesome.
And I think that is a big thing that it doesn't feel like an obstacle,
right?
But as time comes to an end here, like you start to realize like I could probably be a little more outgoing or talkative or just interact with more people, more classmates, and so I've been trying to do that.
That's awesome. Here's a kind of an off the cuff question, but lunch. What was your go-to meal in the lunch over these last 4 years?
For me, nacho day was the best day for sure, and then I like the grilled cheese too. But if it's just like base lunch, I don't like the special. I'll usually go cheese pizza with ranch.
There you go. That's a good call.
But it's changed throughout the years.
And Tyler, you bring your own lunch.
I'm a big bring your own lunch guy, but if I see a grilled cheese tomato soup chefed up in there, I'm gonna go grab one of those. I was a ham and cheese guy.
There you go.
On that nice bread, but
I gotta shout out the deli section when it was open sophomore year for 2 weeks. It was the best 2 weeks lunch-wise of Newburyport High School by far.
That's good to know.
Bring it back.
You guys are a bunch of awards. My last question, and I think it was the academic awards where you introduced Tyler. And I'll tell you, it was a great speech, heartfelt. And you guys have been like best friends for a very long time.
Yeah, since pre-K, I'm pretty sure. Since we were 3 or 4.
How has that been? I know you guys are playing on the same teams, probably in a lot of the same classes. It must be, usually friends that you get along well all the time, but there's sometimes those, might get in a little bickering here and there.
Of course.
But how's that been for you, both of you guys, your high school career to be together?
Yeah, I mean, it's really been great. Like I remember back when we were first, second grade, throwing the ball in his backyard, pretending like we were up on the high school field or like in the NFL or something, and then catching passes from him on Friday nights was like, wow, like this is might not have, just living the dream. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been great to have Tyler through all these years. Yeah, like you were saying, I remember against Pentucket, there was a 4th down play. We get the first down, we win the game, and completed a pass to Tyler to win the game. That was probably one of the most surreal feelings of my life. Yeah, and also academically, like I think we feed off each other pretty well. He's a
Yeah.
pretty good math guy.
Yeah.
He's
I'm,
an English guy.
I'm pretty good at English, and so
That's
we've been able to
awesome.
feed
Yeah.
off each other in that way too.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, my last question is you did mention the elementary being first grade, second grade, looking up to the high school students. That senior walkthrough that we had the other day at the the Breslin Mall and the Knock, and getting to see some of your old teachers. How was that on one of the senior activities?
I really enjoyed that activity, probably the most nostalgic activity that we've had. And it really just, I remember a teacher said to a student as we were walking by, like, oh, one day this will be you.
Yeah.
And it just kind of hit me. Like, I remember being told that by teachers, like, oh, one day this will be you, and you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
But it's really crazy to think how fast it's been since going through elementary, up through the Mullen Knock, and all the way to senior year. So I really enjoyed that, and to see my old teachers was great because I haven't seen some of them since, honestly, I was in second grade. So
Right.
yeah, I
That's
really
pretty
enjoyed
cool. Pretty cool.
Kind of similar. Seeing the teachers though, like those are the people that kind of built our foundations, like leading into middle school, and like it really was. Like I couldn't really express it because we were walking by them, but like
Right.
I really do give a lot of
Yeah.
thanks to those teachers, even for
Yeah,
just
me too.
like they just hold a special place. I feel like.
Yeah.
Shout out Miss Krisham, Westgate, Miss Ames.
That's awesome. Yeah, I tell you, that's looking back and watching you guys, go through the school and looking at the elementary students looking up to you. You can just see it in their eyes how
Yeah.
impressed they are with you guys,
Yeah.
and I think that's also one great thing about Newburyport, another tradition where you're passing on the torch to the young generation.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I thank you guys for your
Of course.
time.
Thanks for
We
having
just
us.
had the graduation practice. We're
Yeah.
ready for Sunday.
Ready to go.
And we're very, very proud of both of you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.